Low carb diets. Some people swear by them, some people think they're evil. Let's get to the bottom of this. We're going to talk about the facts and no nonsense. What you have to remember is carbs are fuel, carbs are energy. Try doing this on no carbs. It's not going to happen. No carbs, no bump. If you're on a low carb diet and you train intensely, how long do you think you're going to be able to stick with that? You have no energy sources for your body to pull from. It's going to make day-to-day tasks, let alone training, so much more draining. Carbs are not the enemy. Too much carbs can be a problem, but having the right amount of carbs can actually help you in your training, help you focus more on your day-to-day tasks. And don't get me wrong, there are athletes that have low carb diets, I'm sure there's keto athletes or something, but they're the exception, not the rule. So you can't look at what you see online and famous athletes and think that you can copy their diet. What works for them might not work for you, might not work for the majority of us. Number 2, can you stick with a low carb diet forever? Any diet is short term. What do you think is going to happen when you reintroduce carbs? Your body's going to change, right? We want sustainability. We don't want quick fixes. Imagine spending the rest of your life having to avoid carbs. What does that look like to you? Does that sound enjoyable? We want balance. You don't want to have to second guess every time a plate is put in front of you. What you have to remember is it's your overall calorie intake that's going to dictate if you gain or lose weight. It's not specifically the carbohydrates. People often mix this up. Some people actually believe carbs equals fat gain. It's the total caloric intake. If you're eating too much, you will gain weight. Now, I won't advise this, but you could literally have, bread for the entire day. As long as you are in a caloric deficit, your body will burn fat. Providing you're training as well, you're burning more than you're consuming. It's not the carbs. Now, different food choices that, might be higher in sugar, higher in sodium, higher in carbs, can affect how your body fluctuates and looks on a day-to-day, but it's not the defining factor of fat gain or fat loss. So when you want to start any new routine, think, can I stick with this for the next 5 years? If the answer is no, then it's probably not the move for you. We want balance and sustainability. I'll preach and preach and preach. Number 3, you can actually look depleted. When you eat carbohydrates, your body stores glycogen into the muscles. That can give you a fuller look. Especially if you're lean enough, you can really look impressive. Now, as you embark on this low carb diet and you're training consistently, your body's going to be using the glycogen for energy. The water in your muscles drop and you can look flat and depleted. You don't look as impressive. One point I did want to add in this video as well is a lot of the times when people go on these low carb diets, they see a really big scale drop in the first 2 weeks, 3 to 8 pounds even. And a lot of the times, this is not actual fat loss, it's water. You're losing water from the muscles. So it's almost like they think that they're more successful on their journey than they are so early on. Now, it's great that you're now on a new routine and you want to get fitter and healthier. That's always good. No issue with that. However, the scale isn't telling the whole story, and it can leave you thinking that you're doing better than you are. In the beginning stage, low carbs and a drastic drop on the scale is pretty normal. It's often more water than it is actual fat loss. Now, I'm not a total hater when they can work. Let's just say you're in great shape already, but you want to drop, an extra 2 pounds. You have a photo shoot coming up. You have a holiday. You have a wedding. And you want to look just that little bit sharper for the photos or whatever. Going on a low carb diet could be a good short-term plan because you're not going to mind if you put the 2 pounds back on, which is often probably water retention that you dropped, but you're not going to mind. In those scenarios, I can understand why someone would go on a low carb diet because they understand this is temporary. When I reintroduce these carbs, I'm not going to look my sharpest, my absolute sharpest, and they're fine with that. But most people go on low carb diets because they think that's the answer to lasting fat loss and quick fat loss. And most people don't want to gain the weight back, and they want to stick with a routine and plan that they can stick with forever because they want to keep the physique that they work so hard for. So those are the only times I can really see a low carb diet being effective. Otherwise, find a sustainable long-term plan for yourself, a system that you can stick to. So as you drop the fat, you can stick with the plan and the routine forever and keep your amazing physique. I've written a book on how I dropped 80 pounds and kept it off. It won't even cost you the amount you spend on your lunch for your work break. And this book could change your life. That's available in the description below. I also offer one-to-one coaching, also on my website in the description below. What do I know? I'm just a dude named Reese. Peace.